This is Bell 47 replica of the Bat Copter. It's the Batman's Bat boat, Bat car, Batmobile, and he had a Bell 47 as a Bat Copter. So my good friend David Maree, always up to something, inspired us to build the Bat Copter. And this machine was built from the ground up by ourselves, from the first nut and bolt. It started off like a frame like that one up there. It's a tail boom. And we have completely built this aircraft. It's now ready for its final inspection to get its airworthiness certificate, and we're going to fly it. We've already run it and tracked and balanced and got it all going, but absolute lovely machine to fly, wonderful machine. I've got a few hundred hours on the Bell 47. It's a three-seater. They were also used as training machines, so it's a very capable machine, the Bell 47. And it's powered, this particular one, there's quite a lot of variants of the 47. This particular one is a turbocharged Lycoming engine, 280 horsepower, and it runs vertically. There you'll see the engine is mounted vertically, and it runs through a 10:1 ratio gearbox up to the blades, the main rotor blades. So the engine runs at around 3,000 RPM and the blades turn at about 300 RPM, which is much slower than the more modern helicopter like the Robinson 44 and some of the other helicopters. So you can actually watch the blades turning almost, you know. It's a very comfortable machine to fly. And one of the characteristics is the open airframe. You know, they're not covered in, so it has this lattice construction. Looks like a windmill turned on its side. There's still quite a number of them flying throughout the world. There must be a good few hundred still flying in Australia, New Zealand, and in the US, and in parts of Europe. They were even used in the British military. Augusta built them. Lovely machine to fly, very smooth, just very slow. You actually can, if you're on one of those bicycles with a very big fat tires, the bicycle is faster than the 47. It auto rotates very well. It's got what they call a high inertia blade, so it's a much or a very forgiving helicopter to auto rotate. And you know, unlike a Robinson 22 where you've got to really be on top of things to do an auto rotation, this auto rotates very well. So if you have an engine failure, it does not necessarily be a big event. So the fuel tanks are mounted in a way that if there is an accident or a crash or a very hard landing, the fuel tanks are designed to break away, and they're encapsulated in fiberglass, and they're designed to break away, and they have special cut-off valves which chop off, so there's no risk of fire. And I've actually experienced it. I had an incident a number of years back in a 47, and the tanks came off and it would have been potentially a fireball, and it turned out to be absolutely nothing. The tanks broke away and landed a few meters away from the helicopter. So that's a very, and for its day, you know, I mean, if you consider this machine first flew in 1947, it was very advanced. The designer Arthur Young, I think, was a very clever man. It's the first civilian helicopter. I mean, they first flew in 1947, and very similar to this machine. I mean, there have been a couple of changes with engines and what have you, but this is the first civilian helicopter that was practically, you know, and it was sold, and there literally were thousands of them made. And there's still, as I said, many surviving around the world. They flew in Vietnam. They were in the military there. They used to put a thing called a litter on the side here, and they used to go in not on this particular skid. There's another skid that comes out vertically. And then you put a stretcher on both sides, and they used to carry wounded soldiers. They used to stick them on the outside. So the very first flight they got in a helicopter was on the outside, injured. So they used to strap them on and then take them to the military hospitals or places where they could attend to them, you know, after they were injured in the war. So they did have military service, but that was in the 50s, and I think early 60s. My dates may not be spot on, but typically now they're flown as classic machines and collectors and people that are just enjoying helicopter flying, you know, and nostalgic. It's a beautiful machine to fly. Parts are still available. Not, you know, once you in that fold, you get to know who's got what, you know. And in fact, those 3 cupboards, they're full of brand new Bell parts, which we procured from the Mozambicans about 25 years ago. They had a fleet of 5 Bell 47s that they flew. The Portuguese flew them, and when, you know, the country was taken over, things fell apart a little bit, you know, and we picked up all the parts and it was like a time machine where we actually bought this whole warehouse full of brand new parts, and this machine, a lot of it was assembled out of those parts. Brand new stuff that we took out of their packets, you know, and so that was a very fortunate thing. But it's amazing how many contacts and people we've met through, you know, the years of putting this machine together, all over the world. I've traveled the blades up there that come from New Zealand, and there are parts from Mozambique, and there's stuff that comes from America and all sorts of places. You know, it's been an incredible journey building this machine, and as I said, I built this, you know, David and I built this machine from the first nut and bolt. It was a bare frame, and we've done everything on it. So it's been a wonderful journey, and looking forward to flying the machine again soon. The reason we you know, we got going with the Bat Copter is reading all the old material on this machine, and then just by total chance we were over at the big air show at Oshkosh in America a number of years back, and we bumped into the original Bat Copter owner, Eugene Nock, and we mentioned to him, we said, "No, there's a second Bat Copter, it's in Africa." "No," he said, "impossible." And I showed him photographs, and he was completely gobsmacked that we'd had another helicopter. Obviously he's the original, this is just a copy, but it just you know, Celia has to, I think, it's got to make me a Batman suit now before I fly it.